Being a maker with a family and a day job, I'm always on the lookout for tools that can improve my efficiency so that I can dedicate more time and resources to the projects that I'm working on. Most, if not all of my projects start in the digital space, so having a tool that I can use efficiently is critical to my workflow. I've tried many CAD programs, but I naturally gravitate back to Fusion 360. But why? Well, to start, I can use Fusion 360 to drive the three workflows that I use to make the items that I design: 3D printing, laser cutting, and CNC. I only have to learn one program to drive all three workflows, saving me time and effort learning new software. Talking of saving time, here's a word from today's sponsor, HelloFresh. If you're like me with a busy schedule, eating fast and well can be a bit of a challenge. With HelloFresh, eating well is stress-free and delicious. With over 35 recipes, they have the options for you to reach your goals. Choose calorie smart or carb smart recipes, or customize selected meals by swapping proteins or sides. Upgrade your proteins or add proteins to a veggie dish. Why not cut back on expensive takeout and delivery and get started with HelloFresh? You'll love how fast and easy and affordable it is to whip up restaurant quality meals right in your own kitchen. It's great to know that you always get top quality with HelloFresh. Ingredients travel from the farm to you in less than 7 days, so you know they're fresh. So why not try HelloFresh? Just click the link below for a special limited time discount, plus free shipping, and try HelloFresh today. Now, Fusion 360 is an industrial grade CAD application used in industries all over the world. So with my limited budget, how am I able to afford to use it? Autodesk offer 3 different licenses, one which you pay for and 2 that you don't. The paid option is intended for businesses that are making items for manufacture commercially and looking at profits. The first of the free licenses is the educational license, intended for students learning manufacturing. Providing you qualify, you get unrestricted access to the full-fledged software. The second free license is the personal license, intended for hobbyists and makers. This gives you access to the software, however some of the advanced features have been disabled. For example, you are restricted into what file formats you can export, and you're restricted to having a maximum of 10 active projects. You're also restricted in driving CNCs with a maximum of 3 axes, using the free license. While this may seem restrictive, you can make projects read-only to stay within the maximum 10 active projects. You can still use these projects in other active projects as an imported component. File formats that can be exported are DXS, which can be used for laser cutting, STL and 3MF files for 3D printing, STEP files for exporting to other CAD programs, and G-code for driving CNC machines. In addition to all of this, you are not permitted to use these free licenses to produce things that you're going to sell and make profit. That's what the paid license is for. Considering all the projects that I make are for me, the personal license fits my needs. If these needs change, or I decide I want to sell some of the projects that I make, I'm going to need to change the license that I'm using. Thirdly, this is a personal thing. I find the UI in Fusion 360 clean, simple, and follows the flow in which my brain works when I'm designing. Sketch, extrude, modify, rinse and repeat. But Fusion isn't perfect, and there's a few things you need to consider if you're planning on using it. For new makers, Fusion can seem a bit daunting. After all, it's an industrial grade CAD program and can sometimes feel a little bit advanced. My recommendation is to start slow. Have a starter project where you're creating some simple geometry, or have a simple object that you're trying to replicate in the computer. And this is where my process of sketch, extrude, modify, rinse and repeat can cause some problems if you're not careful. And when you start out with Fusion 360, trust me, you're not careful. But this is part of the learning process. Remember, take your time and find simple ways to create the shapes and geometry that you're looking for your project. By becoming more efficient at designing, the quicker the projects are actually going to get completed, and the better Fusion 360 is going to function on your computer. For more complex projects, what I like to do is to break individual items into components. That way, if there's any errors or warnings that crop up, they are interfering with that component and not the entire project. Other things to be aware of is that the software has some time-saving tools which can be really useful. However, these need to be used with caution. Patterning tools mathematically calculate either a sketch component or a feature of your object and copies them either in a rectangular pattern or a circular pattern. The more complex this pattern is, the slower Fusion 360 works and can actually crash. While there is an autosave feature within Fusion, you're likely to lose work from the last time that you saved and when the program crashed. So is Fusion right for you? Well, it's the old cliche response of, it depends. It depends on your needs and your budget. To have access to an industrial grade CAD program for $0 is a significant win in my book. Coupled with the fact that it can drive 3D printing, laser cutting and CNC makes it the perfect tool for me. The other thing to consider is the personal license is free. So what have you got to lose? Try it and find out. While I'll always have one eye to the horizon, looking at what CAD programs are coming out, especially considering the way Autodesk has handled some of the changes it's made over the last couple of years, Fusion 360 is my go-to CAD program for the foreseeable future. And you never know. Depending on if some of my projects become popular, I might need to reconsider which license I'm using. So if you want to see how I've implemented Fusion 360 in some of my projects, why not take a look at one of my videos just here.